the chair, the moderator, CGK Nair, sir. Now, I leave it in your hands, sir, able hands.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Murthy. Vilas has not come. Paper he has taken from me. He has not given me.
Yes, sir.
Is Vilas coming? Come, come. Waiting for you. Join us. Join us. Okay. Welcome to all of you. We had a very long day and two parallel sessions, one on advanced materials, another on critical minerals, and also there was some overlap between the two, which is unavoidable. And we also spoke about the criticality of those materials, and some solutions also have come forward. But I know we could not attend both because two sessions separately. That is a disadvantage. But we will probably look at some of them in this concluding part. It is really not a conclusion, but we have some experts who have experience in managing some of these issues, and also who can very expertly comment on the criticality of the materials. So I would like to, and of course already the members have been introduced by Professor Murthy. They're all very well experienced in their field and done remarkable work and contributions to the country in the field of minerals and metals. So let me, just to start, hearing today's talks, I wanted to project it, but I will tell for your information, what are the materials, critical materials. What are the critical materials? We sometimes say these are materials which are required for our economic growth as well as standard of living, and also to protect our wealth from the enemies. So for defense. So these are sometimes called strategic materials also. Now, so economic, how the metals, these metals and minerals, because they're together. Metals have to come out of the minerals, except gold and silver or platinum, but others are all out of the minerals. So if you identify some of these critical, and some of them become strategic when, or more critical, even if we have them, if supplies do not come in time, from the industry's point of view, country's point of view, if they are imported, we are depending on import, then there are various kinds of problems come when an embargo comes or export is limited, we are not able to buy. So this becomes more critical. So we can sometimes call them strategic materials becoming critical because of no production in India, even though we have the capability. Sometimes we import and we don't get the import. Let's just name a few so that it will facilitate our panel members to comment in their respective field. What comes to my mind is titanium alloys, high-strength aluminum alloys and magnesium alloys, special lightweight steels, engineering plastics, conducting polymers. Of course, we didn't have some discussion on these in the morning, but we can include them if you like to. Now, there are others, rare earth, lithium, it was discussed, substitute by sodium was discussed today. Tungsten, carbon fiber, nanofiber, glass fiber, and nanomaterials is another advanced materials which can also become strategic if we don't make them. Zirconium, hafnium, niobium, uranium, plutonium. So many things have been mentioned in the books and by other people. Now, I must say that with respect to defense alloys and for atomic energy, nuclear fuel complex and Mithani have done excellent work in developing them in the country, making them to a large extent. But still, they also depend upon import of some element, some other alloys to make these alloys. They are critical. So we have to say, what should be our policies? Supply risk from indigenous production, it can happen because we again depend upon certain special elements for making those special steels or special aluminum alloys and so on. We have the technology for titanium sponge. We have got demonstrated through pilot plan, but it is not economical and there is a lot of low-cost products are now imported. Suddenly it may stop and we may into have a problem. So why we are not able to move them into economical scale of production? There was a paper, but it was not touched upon, I think. So these are some of the things I would request our experts in the panel to address. First, I would request one by one to come in maybe for about 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes on their respective, you don't have to comment on all of them. Another thing is that, see, the strategy is also well known. I mean, it's common sense. If we don't have them, we have to import or stockpile. If we or develop technology and find minerals from outside and have a source from other countries for getting the minerals and make them in India. Now, if today, in spite of some technologies are available, we are still not making, where there is potential for making large quantities, make it an economically viable scale, and then use it for India and export. As our Prime Minister often say now, make in India and for export. So that is the way we will have to tackle this issue. So may I now call upon any, let's say, not in any particular order, but maybe our past president and also expert in steel, Mr. S.S. Mohanty, to make some comments.
Patel, good afternoon to all of you. After a long day's, discussion on this all in critical minerals and that's on the alloys. I think you have enough patience to hear the CXO panel discussion. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. The best part of the panel discussion is always to interactive type. I mean, always believe that we have heard the lecture for last so many hours. You must interact now with us on certain topics. I think what Dr. Nair has already told about, he has set the context. And along with us, you find the panelists, some of the people who are who are expert in their areas. For me, I'll be discussing a part of this. It's a 5 minutes. I'll discuss on this. The topic is on advanced materials and critical minerals. I am in the steel industry for almost 5 decades. Maybe within 1.5 years, I'll be completing 50 years in my steel industry. Okay. Now, when the discussion of the materials are coming up, you start about metals, then materials, then you start about what is the special steel, then advanced steel, then strategic steel. Then right now we're talking about the steel which will also, the future is what to look for. I just wanted to tell you, whenever you make any metals, steel or aluminum or copper or anything else, okay. There is another topic, critical mineral. I think I'm leaving to my other experts in the panel. When you talk about advanced materials, I believe that you are talking something but which for the contemporary industries, the futuristic industry look around. Some snippets from the past few years, the demand for the semiconductors, the demand for the critical minerals, the giving it a name of a strategic in terms of the country's need. I think those are all basically how you define our need at that particular time. For a CXO panel and for being in the industry for almost 5 decades, almost in the board level, more than 20 years in different industries, I can tell you the strategy is what is my requirement, what exactly said, what is available to me, what I can do if not today, after 5 years, 10 years, to become myself or my country or our industry more competitive and also more self-reliant. Few things you have to work on this. I will not go to technicality of this. When you talk about the alloy steel, we talk about the number of alloys you discussed today are not plentifully available. And number of, when I talk about on a special steel having how much alloy to be mixed, now on the same strength, we are using almost 1/10 of maybe percentage much less in terms of those alloys. Why? Because we are developed in terms of our research, experience, and also the process. So try to understand when a technology is now defined or advanced material is defined, your production is not only availability of this material, the production is also a methodology by which the materials are either extracted or processed or converted to metals. So having said that, I just wanted to tell this is strategy-wise. You think of if you ask me steel industry, what are the big things that you talk about in terms of advanced materials? We certainly look for our application. What are our part of our application, part of our products goes to what applications? If you ask me today, I'll give a simple figure to you all about. We have been talking in the morning about critical minerals. And everything in the world is gaga about China has stopped supplying, where we will go now. I was also a committee member, I think when Mr. Parikar was also defense minister, to look for strategic minerals. There is a committee was formed, 2 reports were formed. I'm talking about that days. But let me just tell you one thing. We are talking about specialist steel. We are talking about, just to give an idea, we produce 1800 million, almost 1900 million ton a year world steel produces. 1.8, 1.9 billion tons. If you ask me what is the total quantity of special steel out of this, any guess? What is the percentage? 7%. Similarly, if you talk to me today, the world economy is $120 trillion. And the total critical mineral market is itself only few $100 billion. So this has been all discussed in the morning. In fact, I was also. So the discussion is basically, it's not a question of how much ball you were talking about. Now what's critical, it has come out now. The steel we produced at time, we didn't think of that it will be lightweighted, advanced high strength steel to be for the wide body of the automobiles. We didn't produce till the time. But yes, we are now producing. We have now the technology. So basically it is a process by which what are the areas you look for getting this availability. If it's not available, how to get it out. So there are multi-pronged approach of any industry to have a strategy to look how to overcome these challenges for these contemporary industries, the raw material, the inputs available for this. I think with these words, I'll just finish my talk, that whether it's an advanced material, whether it's an advanced steel, whether it's a specialty steel, whether it's a strategic materials, whether it's a strategic minerals, all have a strategy defined from geography to geography, and also the ecosystem we talked about in a very larger scope. If I produce or get some materials and I take few papers and technical 50 paper, doesn't solve country's problems. It need to be ecosystem to be understood, to be properly connected, so that the ultimate application get the steel at a cheaper, competitive quality and rates. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mohanty. Next to steel, the maximum used metal is aluminum alloy. So therefore, I would request now, we have Vilas here from Hindalco. You could probably talk about this as well. Okay, aluminum, you talk about aluminum.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Nair. I thought I will talk about critical minerals, but now I have been asked to talk about aluminum. So yes, aluminum, we are producing something like 1.3 million ton as a Hindalco, and in India as a whole, we are producing 4 million tons of aluminum, and we are also consuming 4 million ton of aluminum. The problem is that half of the aluminum we export and half of the aluminum we import as a finished product. So aerospace material grade aluminum is imported, specialty aluminum is imported, and we are selling the primary aluminum and also importing part of the scrap. So now with respect to these two elements or two topics, that is the critical minerals and advanced materials, what we are now going through is aluminum. We are not selling alloys, or we are not selling the material. What we are selling is a surface or properties. So if we want to have a combination of advanced materials, we are actually setting up the plants where we have the coating. So coated aluminum will give us more functionality or more properties which are more critical for us. So what I will suggest is, like, there is a marriage which is required to get the aluminum as a engineering material married with the advanced materials to give the more refined properties, or to meet the sustainability or environmental, or you can say the current strategic requirements. So that is how I feel the aluminum industry has to go. We have a lot of things to work, is basically go into the alloys, which will meet our lightweighting, which will also need, there is a need for, like, aluminum, lithium battery needs aluminum electrodes. Now these aluminum foils are now becoming challenged because industry want thinner and thinner and thinner foils because they want to reduce the cost. At the same time, battery production companies want stronger and stronger foils because they want to run roll to roll at much faster rate. So now you have a thinner foils with higher strength, and also they require electrical properties. Now how we are achieving that? We are also achieving that through putting the coating so that you have a thinner foils. We are also getting the electrical properties or corrosion resistance property by putting thin 1 micron carbon, nanocarbon or CNTs coating, which gives us lot of functionality. So that is one area, like, where we are actually using the advanced material science to actually enhance the properties of aluminum. Then comes as an industry, I already lecture in the morning. We are also generating a lot of byproducts and co-products which are critical for our critical mineral mission or critical metal missions. And these products we have started working. We are currently producing the vanadium, because that is a byproduct. And if we don't remove the vanadium, it will enter into the metal and it will impact the metal proper aluminum quality. So we have the vanadium, and as a copper, we are also extracting as a selenium, tellurium, platinum group metals. We have also bismuth plant. So there are range of the metals which are critical now. We are producing it. What is we are looking from these COEs or the policymakers or the partners is we need to have a complete end-to-end solution. Otherwise, we will have, again, every 10 years, we will have critical mineral conference because we are not designing end-to-end solution. So my only one suggestion to all is have one end-to-end. Otherwise, we have selenium, but we don't have purification. We have gallium, we don't have purification. So we have dependencies. So that is what I think we'll discuss and get the form. Yeah, thank you.
Hello. You know, we want this to be more interactive, as we mentioned in the beginning. So you have any points to be clarified based on what you've heard, particularly with respect to critical materials and minerals? Keep your questions so that you can ask after this one round is completed. So be ready for answer questions. Right. Now I will request Mr. Kumaresan from L&T. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Nair, sir, and distinguished leaders who is in the dais, on the dais and off the dais. A very good evening to each one of you. Special thanks to Professor Murthy. I hit the business which touches the millions of lives every day, even often unknowingly. The vessel you use in your kitchen, the car you drive, the road you take for ride, and even the building where you are sitting. It's all made out of metals. You might have guessed by this time. Yes, I handle the business of minerals and metals of Larsen & Toubro. We provide EPC solutions right from steel, aluminum, copper, zinc. And recently we have added gold also to our portfolio. Probably, Professor Saab, next time when you go to a jewelry shop to buy a gold for your loved ones, you might be ending up with buying the gold plant which was conceptualized, designed, built, commissioned by Team L&T. एक तो तालिब तो बंदा है ना? Thank you. Now next.
Thank you very much. I would now.
I'll have to continue.
Oh, you continue. Okay.
I'm not finished. Okay. So now, Professor Saab said that it should be an interactive. I understand. I work in an industry, 14 hours, 16 hours, whatever you call it. After the day-long lesson, session, listening to everyone, I can clearly understand what would be the mood of you at 6:20 p.m. today. So, let me make this more interactive. What is the crisis currently going on in India, past 2 days or 3 days? Any guess from this side? Oh, you guess it very rightly. So indigo, each and every one of you are affected because, why do you say only indigo? The indigo rules the sky. They have more than 2/3 of the market share. But everyone is, suffering. Do you know why? Any guess from this center? Yes. Yes, fantastic. Anyone else from this side, right side? Less manpower. Okay, fine. Overbooking. Oh, that's an excellent.
It is an interesting subject, but let's.
There is a connection. Please connect. Let me connect. Because you said it is an interactive. Sorry for that. I'm not diverting too much. You will understand once I say that what is the essence of that. Because The DGCA, whatever they have come, it's in the best interest of pilot or crew, whatever. Apart from the working hours, the crux is that, a pilot can land the night hours or 0 hours, which is anywhere between midnight 12 to morning 6 o'clock, 8 landings in a week. That has come to 2 landing. Okay? Now, you all will be wondering, including Nair Saab, why did I say this? There is a relevance. Have you ever heard about this rare earth magnets 6 months or 9 months before? Anybody? Honestly, I have not heard about that rare earth magnets. At least 6 or 9 months before, when our neighbor started tightening the noose. Then that, as a company, L&T, that we went into the detail, what makes this China, what makes a company rich. By virtue of providing all the metal producers in India and global, we have some access. The Chinese industry, the rare earth magnets or rare earth elements, is more than 45 years old. Over a period of time, they built the technology, they own the resources, they own the critical mineral research today, which is ruling. They ruled that 90% of the supply to the whole world is supplied by them. So next is, we should become self-reliant. We should do it on our own. We need to, even after 100 or 90 years of that independence, why not be independent? We tried. We tried it today. Any business, one is that academic interest, R&D. End of the day, business is all about making profit. Isn't it? Quarter on quarter, you have to go back to the, your shareholders and tell them, what did you make in the last quarter? So, when you make a business case, the business case, we tried, we do it, and China is able to dump this 1 kg of rare earth magnet at the rate of $57 per kg. The rough estimate, that proposal, it's not actual because there is no way to check what would be the cost of Indian rare earth magnets, which you make, which was coming somewhere at $180 to $200 per kg. Can you start a business which depends upon complete geopolitical scenario? Or what kind of control that you will have if you start your business with this kind of scenario? What you need to do to start the business is, because we also manufacture many nuclear equipments, many equipments which makes not only India proud, the whole world. There has to be a compelling business case wherein you need to manufacture the product which can be sold in the global market with world-class quality, with low-cost prices. So just to tick it, where we are, already, Nair is after me, to conclude that we need to go a long way. The policy supports, the government support, and end of the day, one of the biggest, the business leaders who are here, and they know the cost of capital is so high. You can't, bring a business viability unless until you bring something innovation and something you can do with a low-cost producer which can be sold to the global market. Before I conclude, a lot of young minds are there. This is a temple of knowledge. You please work. In an area where today, if we have to sustain the business, if we have to become a self-reliance, we need to do more and more with less and less. Means less manpower, less, less machinery, less resources. For that only, I'm very sure that, the international conference on this advanced material, critical minerals, many things can help to become, more self-reliant, because next 15 years that the world is going to change. You can't do the business the way that you are doing. With this, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kumareshan. I think we will come back to this little later because we have not discussed today, but there's a point on the rare earth magnets. Some of you can comment. I can also tell you a little bit more later. Now, I would now request, now there is, with respect to our energy, materials for energy requirement, especially non-polluting energy requirements, a lot of work has been done in India. And again, it is the government who has taken the initiative and put up both the, for defense, for Mithani and nuclear fuel complex. It was purely by government. And what government is doing now, even with respect to rare earths, we will discuss later. Komal Kapoor, can you make some comments?
So, very good afternoon to all of you. My distinguished panelist and moderator, Dr. C.G.K. Nair. Well, I, to very large extent, agree with Mr. Kumaresan about, the need for driving the mission of advanced materials and critical minerals on a profitable scale. But I will just first go to my area of expertise. I come from Department of Atomic Energy, and here the sole purpose is to produce, to make, engage in production of nuclear power, materials required for nuclear power, engaging nuclear power for medical, agricultural, industrial applications. Materials required for all these applications are generally classified as advanced materials. So the first, I would say, material which I would like to take is what is used in the nuclear industry, which is zirconium alloys. Then there are several alloys which are used in nuclear applications also, niobium-based alloys, titanium-based alloys, nickel-based alloys, and so on. So these materials are presently, I would say, to a very large extent, being made in the country. For example, zirconium requirements are 100% made in the country. I would give an idea that 50 years back, we used to make fuel, which is nearly 150 ton. Today, we make 1,500 tons. So it's a 10-fold increase in the fuel production in the last 50 years. Now, the government of India has, put up a plan to make 100 gigawatt by 2047. Presently, we are at 8.1 gigawatt. So, which means that our fuel requirement for this increase of what is, almost like 12 to 15 times is going to increase correspondingly. So, it is really a challenging task, but then presently our technology is to increase what is called the production scale. It is not the R&D which was earlier the mission. I would say that number of other applications in nuclear sector require materials which are of very high quality. That is the major demand. For example, I would like to say that materials required for accelerator applications are 100% presently imported. They come from China. So we do not have a single source, but there is a breakthrough which has happened recently. You would have seen in the media. First time the material required for accelerator applications has 100% been produced, and it is called 300 RRR grade niobium, which has been produced and supplied. I would say that in the requirements of nuclear sector, the R&D work has already been done. What is required is multiplication of the production scale in order to get the right output. And the present government is looking at the private sector. There is a bill going to be passed in this present session, what is called Amendment of Nuclear Act. And it is basically focusing on involving private industries in the nuclear sector. So why I'm addressing this august audience is that there are a lot of young researchers, there are a lot of industry partners, there are a lot of, I would say, people coming from earlier industries, distinguished I would say, past presidents who are here. It requires a big scale up of the industry. So this is the present need of the sector in which I'm working. Thank you very much.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you something different. Okay, we have talked about a lot of strategic materials. We'll come back to this later. But when we say we want to make them in India, one difficulty Kumaresan has already mentioned to you, we can discuss later, that is industry has to make profit. Otherwise they can't spend the money and make things for the sake of making in India. But then there is a line which we have to draw, that if we want to protect ourselves from the enemies, we want to have equipments for defense, for which we need to have special materials, because these defense materials will be always potential for embargo. I have many experience in HAL. When we started to make a special engine, which is not now for cruise missiles, immediately all the materials were stopped. Then DMRL and HAL worked together, made those alloys. We come under pressure. When nobody supplies, we will make it at whatever cost. Same thing, when Methane was set up to make defense alloys, super alloys, but HAL will not buy it, saying that their price is higher than the price if we import. Then how can we set up? So government also did not want to give them any more. Infrastructure is created. So the industry took the responsibility and said, okay, I was the chairman of the company at that time. We said we will pay 30% more to Methane. So what? It is being made in India. We are enhancing our indigenous self-reliance. And mind you, HAL also has to make profit. It is no longer a government-owned company. It has now more than 30% disinvestment. So we are also answerable to shareholders. So there has to be a certain forward thinking by our industries, whether it is government sector or private sector, how to improve the economy of production. The economy of production is tied to the quantity, the scale of production. So if our requirements are not enough to make it economical, we should look at requirements outside. And if we can make larger quantities, then the price will be coming down. And there will be dumping. That also we have to protect by government regulation. It happened in the case of steel. China used to dump steels here. It is only because of a government's strong policy to restrict that our Indian companies could make the steels and sell it in India profitably. So it is always our experts, scientists, academicians, industries all have to work with the government if we really want to look for a Nirbhar Bharat. So now that is cost is one thing. The other thing which we have to look at, I am going to ask you about that, is some of the metals or materials when we produce, whether it's minerals or metals, it also causes environmental damage, pollution, global warming. We are also contributing. And see, you can see it every year we are getting repeated warnings about what is happening to the world. So if you produce more steels, you will push in a lot of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Same thing with aluminum. More aluminum, you need more energy. That energy is produced again, we are making pollution. Coming to that. So therefore, we need to find solutions for that. We cannot say that because of that we will not produce it. But we want them for our growth, for our requirement, we have to produce. But we must also look at, as metallurgical engineers, environmental engineers. Today there was a very good lecture on that also. We have to see how to produce these metals causing less pollution. So if you can talk something, please go ahead. Jindal has done a lot of work in this.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Nair. And on the panel, Mr. S.S. Mahanti, Dr. Komal, and Kumareshan, and Dr. Vilas. I think it is a very hot topic, sustainability, climate change, and everybody is seeing the way the weather is changing. So in the desert, you are seeing snowing, and the most green parts are getting dried up. So I just reflect from the being from the steel fraternity. So how to produce the steel responsibly? So certainly there are many technological interventions that are there, anticipated for the future. But at the same time, we need to produce the steel cost effective. So we are in a transition towards adopting the new technologies where the impact of CO2 generation, that is primarily the cause in producing the steel. But at the same time, we need to be ready for the future for the new technologies like interventions like hydrogen being replacing these fossil fuels. So what I mean is, so during this transition, the most important thing is how to make the processes most effective. So in JSW, what we did is we have created a kind of a project that is called, coined as a SEED, Sustainable Energy Environment Decarbonization. So in this, we have sensitized the entire team how to make the processes more effective. And you don't believe that almost 20% improvements have come with the minimum investments in the process. So this is what is to be done. And second is we need to collaborate with the steel plants which are doing better than us, like JSW has collaborated with the JFE, Tata Steel has collaborated with the Nippons, so that we are working towards the self-reliant. Like we cannot keep importing the advanced strength materials which are required for the today's EV vehicles and making the automotives light and construction steels more with a high yield strength and all. So we have to have the interventions. This is one direction. And second is, if I compare with the China and the other nations who are very prompt in adopting the new technologies and all, and developing the new technologies. So we need to have an interaction between the institution and the industries, which is not very prominent in India. I think that we need to really focus, and this is the right forum where I'm raising this point. So this is what is missing. I think of late these interactions and the kind of interventions are more, but it is not sufficient to really progress. So this is what this is my takeaway. And apart from that, then the circularity, from the circularity circularity perspective, circular economy, like currently we are producing about 500 to 600 kgs of slag that is being generated when we are producing a steel. So how to make you recycle them or reduce them, or how to make more productive elements. Like I recall, I am connecting with the critical minerals and advanced materials. So I understand the slimes which are generated from the beneficiation and the fly ash generated from the captive power plants are the resources for these critical minerals. So we need to really look into, instead of going for the Mother Earth and trying to extract, and you know, the extraction has its own vagaries because these are all heavy metals and all. So we need to really look into, introspect into how we can bring these waste materials also into the cycle, recycle back, and make it meaningful for the generation of these critical minerals. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I open it for discussion with you, Just 2 points. One about what Mr. Kumaresan mentioned about rare earth. I just want to tell you, he also knows about it, that first of all, why it becomes suddenly critical, why suddenly awareness is there. Because we knew that we are importing quite a lot of this from China, 6,000, 7,000, 10,000 tons of rare earth magnets. The technology was developed by DMRL many years ago. The rare earth extraction is also made thanks to he's not here today. Yeah. So now, why it has not moved from laboratory to production? DMRL was ready to give it to anybody who wants to make it. But we also looked at what do you want? How much atomic energy want? How much defense wants? That is not enough for economic. This is the very, very wrong way of analyzing. That is what the Prime Minister is telling to all of us, both R&D and industry, that we must look at the global market and take a risk and go ahead. To some extent, government can give some fund for compensating that risk. So it was also announced. Suddenly we say, okay, so many 60,000 tons of the magnet is being imported from China. So we want to make it in India. Which industry will come for? Industry says, we don't have the money to invest so many things. So government said, okay, we will give you so much. If you produce more than 6,000 tons or 6,000 tons, certain money is given. That is also probably not sufficient. So we need to have continuous interaction and go ahead, take some risks, move forward. We all have to take some risks if we want to succeed. That is the moral of the story. Everything cannot be done. Some cases, you see, when India became independent, for many years, the defense industry was not open to the private sector. Why? Because private sector cannot afford to spend that much of money and wait for a long time. So the military aircrafts were produced by HAL only, and HAL was told not to make civil aircraft because if any private industry wants to make it, let them make it. Only military aircraft, like that. So even now, government has taken a decision. I'm not speaking for government. I want all of you to be aware of what has happened in the last 10, 15 years, that the procurement philosophy itself in the defense has changed. One, they've decided that 60% of the requirement will be bought from domestic industries. It doesn't mean that HAL and BL. It means private industries. And similarly, there has been incentive given for making things in India by assuring the market. So like that, a lot of things are coming. So we must feel encouraged and inspired by the government policies, and all of you, especially young professionals, must become, everybody should look forward to become an entrepreneur and start making something which is needed for India. And go ahead and do that. This is one about rare earth magnets. Related to another thing I tell you, magnesium now. Magnesium is required for the aluminum industry, for making aluminum alloys. Magnesium is required if you want to produce titanium. I mentioned about titanium. Titanium technology is available, but no takers. Unless if you make 10,000 tons per year, it will be fantastic. Our price will be less than that of China. I have examples of that. When I proposed in HAL that we will make all the titanium blades, which is imported from Rolls-Royce, the board first did not clear it, saying that your price is 3 times that of the Rolls-Royce. I told them, wait, maybe in 3 years, our price will be lower than theirs. Because you have to, when you start making, things will be. So even now, the private industries, we have to go to the government with respect to rare earth. This is not enough. You give us for the first so many years so much of price. Then we'll bring down the price. Something like that, we'll have to help the policy of making India reasonably self-reliant. See what happened? Now engine is not made in India. I'm slightly diverting, and therefore the Tejas aircraft production has stopped. A lot of newspapers have told about it. No? Reason is political embargo. We did not make an engine. So we have like that, and private sector has been asked, but they said, no, where is the money? So make a consortium. So the ISRO's first consortium was with L&T and what is it, Madras company? MTA, for making the rocket engine. So consortiums between private sector and public sector, that is the way to go forward. There is no difference between the two now, because public sector also have to work like a private sector. All of them have to make profit, surpluses. But things have to be done, and we need to work towards this. This is why all the special conference. Yeah. Now I want to open it for discussion. You have got any point? You have got a question? Please limit to about 2 minutes.
You can talk on that. I will take this.
Can I say something? Dr. Nair, I just want to say, Mr. Kumaresan said, when did you hear about rare magnets? I want to tell him, we knew about it in 1970. We started the project, development project, in 1969. Not me, my boss, Mr. Mahapatra, the pioneering R&D scientist in magnetic materials. We had 3 sections. One is, can you change the mic? One is Alnico class of permanent magnets, then high nickel base soft magnetic materials. That was going on in the beginning. Then in 1969, he started samarium cobalt magnets. But unfortunately, within a year or two, we both moved on to Bidhani. We concentrated there. What we did right for the super alloys, titanium alloys, and all those things, origin steels, etc. We just could not do service for the rare earth magnets. 1970, we are 55 years. 1970, we were all, everybody was groping in the dark, everybody, okay? Including China. But we just lost the race. There was no user coming forward. See, for every one of our magnetic materials, there were BLs, somebody or other were coming up, saying that I need this. Nobody came up. And there was a Magnetic Society of India that was started in 1971. Even there, the users did not say, hey, I want that. Nobody came. They were having it, they were getting it cheap from USA or anywhere, well-known producers.
If that point is okay.
So that's why. So what happened is, so now if you ask me, every day myself, once in 2 months, once a month or two, we are, myself, Mahapatra meet, we just say, what happened to this ceremony? That's the biggest anguish for us. Why are we in this position? Because we thought about it in 1970. Still, it is a mystery to us. It's a pathetic, I'm just sharing this anguish with this forum.
Yeah.
That's about
Sir,
it.
thank you very much, sir, for bringing this. And I could see your passion at the same time, agony, why we couldn't do it. In corporate world, we talk it in one single 2 words. Meticulous planning and ruthless implementation. Where we fail is, we all have everything. How do I take from lab to pilot to, the scale, pilot to production to scale up, which can be sold in the world? Somewhere we lost in the race.
That's the point.
Sir,
That's the point. But we have to be conscious of this. India work in the past, when there is an embargo, we will do. Because we are forced to do, so we will do. But why should we wait for an embargo? We should now start doing what we want. And that is the policy we should. Now, earlier there was export was restricted. Today there is no restriction for defense items. You can, if you make it in here, you are allowed to export also. So there are no restrictions on export. And so we have to look at the world as our market. Are we in a position to compete in the world market? That is what all the industries, whether public sector or private sector, has to look into now, and with certain support from the government. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Sir, my name is VG Rajendran, representing Entelis Industries, and I'm proudly declaring that we are the first to make neodymium, praseodymium metal as early as in 2023, and we also make NDFEB alloy in 2025 January onwards. Coming to his point, why we were not able to succeed. Even today, we are not able to, sell commercially. The reason is, for making a metal, you need 1.25 times oxide, right? Whereas the Chinese oxide price versus metal price is only 1.2 times. For example, I'm telling you, oxide price is, let's say, 100, metal price is $120, which doesn't even compensate the stoichiometry reaction requirement of oxide requirement for making metal. Forget about the electricity, other conversion cost, and electrolytes and other things in the molten salt electrolysis process. This is the entry barrier created by the dominant geography in the globe. That's why they were able to still control 95% of the global market of the rare earth. Today we are working with the Government of India and the Ministry of Heavy Industry, Niti Aayog and all, thanks to all the laboratories here, IITs, DMRL, Niti Aayog, BARC and all. We are working with government since 2022, ever since we have our inception. And last week, the incentive PLI scheme for magnet is announced. Only the scheme's details are waited to come out in the weeks ahead. Thank you so much for the Government of India and the Ministry who were all listening to us. As Mr. Nair rightly said, today government is listening to promote the Atmanirbhar and self-reliance and much more. Thank you so much.
Whatever be your price must be given. That's it. There is no question about it.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Good evening, sir.
Anybody else?
Good evening, sir.
Please give the, hello.
Good evening, sir. This side, sir.
Go and give
Your
the
left side, sir. Sir,
questions.
good evening, sir. Distinguished panelists. I'm Nimai Gore from Tata Steel.
Make them
Here, I'm here.
brief question.
Yeah, okay. Okay, actually, sir, my point is, as we are trying to making it simple, we keep it within aluminum and steel. As we are trying to managing aluminum and steel, aluminum is replacing some in case of alternate to the steel to get more mileage. And at the same time, steel is also improving with strength and kind of thing, so that now whichever strength aluminum has, mileage, aluminum advantage has given by aluminum, if we produce 1800 MPa steel, then it is leveled down. So in that case, what happens, that ecosystem or business point of view, so if we produce more than 1800 MPa steel or 2000 MPa steel, who will buy it? Because there is no grade or kind of thing. So
I just could. High strength is still talking about. There are plenty of markets.
but when we go to the market, customer is telling which grade you are putting, where is the spec kind of thing. So, and there is no clear-cut things that if we improve the steel, if, for example, if we improve 20% more corrosion resistive steel, how much cost? Is it able to get 5% more margin to the steel?
Well, I
That's-
think your question is relevant. Whether
Yeah.
the product that you're making for a particular service, whether it's a auto grade or whether it's a corrosion resistant steel, whether I am getting a profitable of my product for this effort that it did. I think it is like any market, any product, any commodity, you have to sell it out. It is a cycle. When there is a demand supply gap, the market decides the price. But let me just tell you, if you take the history of the entire steel prices, okay, the volatility has remained very much restricted to a common grade of steels. If you make a special steel and a purpose for which it is meant, like for right now aerospace, right now talking about automobile, right now E grade steel, right now for the strategic field, those volatilities are almost narrowed down. The range is almost narrowed. The prices may be the affecting, but the volatility in those special steels always remain narrow. So always you make money out of these special steels. But the question is, our demand for special steel is much less. But then they have to make a balance of our product in the entire steel, basically scenario. How much percentage will make it for what is the need for this? Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Just I'd like to add one more point, sir, and that to
You can discuss it separately, okay?
Okay.
You know, any last one question?
Sir, this side. I'm Proseke Padmanabhan from VAT Vellore. This has not got to do with end users, but I think this has really got to do with talent. India is still not able to make advanced fibers like, Kevlar or Xylon or carbon fibers, though we are making efforts or attempts to vie with T300 or say other P-type fibers, pitch fibers. And even when we have to work with advanced nylons, not PA6 but PA66 and so on, or polyimide, polyamide, or say polyether ether ketones, we do not have Indian industries making them up to the world quality or the required quality, though there are a lot of end users. Defense needs it, aerospace needs it, automobiles need them, and we even have fiber metal laminates between titanium, aluminum, and then polymers and plastics. You know that the metal organic frameworks, they are now coming up in a big way. And the Nobel Prize has also been announced in this topic. But I think this is the other side of the coin. Somebody was referring to end users and that there are no end users and so on. There are a lot of end users, but I think we end up importing a lot, and then we need some import substitution on these grounds. This is my observation.
It is true, your observation is true to some extent, but carbon fiber has been developed to almost, see, there is always a transition from the laboratory to industry. NIL has developed the required carbon fiber to the aerospace specification requirement. Now, a lab production, when you scale up to industry production, a lot of things has to be done. So industries have to come forward. They have given the technology to 2-3 industries. All of them gave up. They did not continue. Now, again, it has been given to 2 other private industries. They are going, and 1 government industry. All of them are going very slow. That is the problem. Again, so that little bit, and also it can be considered as research, because how much research? Now, if you do a survey, some time ago, Dr. Ramarao, one of our past presidents and very well-known metallurgist, he did a survey of when he was secretary DST, research done in India by industries. Private industries are not spending any money worthwhile to spend in terms of percentage of their income, except a few. There are some. So his total thing was that out of the total R&D expenditure in India, more than 60%, 70% is by government. But industries have grown, and industry have to also spend money now. Now, this is something which you mentioned. It is given to 3 industries. They have to now continue that moving from lab to industrial scale production. Some additional research has to be done to be able to make the same quality at the industry scale. Then it will happen. All this requires, the R&D. For that also, the Niti Aayog had developed a concept which you know probably from Center of Excellence in an R&D or academic laboratory to industry. So they have called for invitations, for asking for proposals to fund them, like this kind of thing. Maybe something will happen. Let us be optimistic. Let us hope things will do well, provided we have a need. If you recognize the need and we have a commitment and passion, then it will work. That is what, with that, I think we have to close.
No,
I have been told to-
I want to
question,
submit.
sir.
Hello, excuse me.
Just,
1 minute.
one-
I have been already told 2 times. If you relax, I will give the question.
Sir, I want to submit.
Yeah.
Sir, one last thing, sir.
I have one question.
Sir, can we have a different approach altogether? Like what we are talking right now is starting from developing a mine to finished product. Can't we have a different approach, like we'll do partnership with our like-minded countries and work on our strength? We have a challenge is China. To meet that challenge, we can club with or combine with our like-minded countries, those who are having same threat like China, and
That's
work
correct.
on our each strength so
Yeah.
that we can meet like industry's requirement is profitability.
Well said, thank
So
you.
those-
Actually, just about half an hour ago, Professor Murthy was discussing the very same subject with a group of people about, doing this. Yeah.
Sir,
Hello.
good evening, sir.
It will happen.
Just I've
Yeah,
been
I want
waiting,
to submit.
I've been waiting for long. Good evening to the eminent panel of experts, sir, sitting here. So, as you said, on an optimistic note, 1960, it was a period of green revolution. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan championed the cause of green revolution in India. 1970, Varghese Kurian, he championed the cause of white revolution, the milk revolution, by establishing NRDB. 2000, Narayan Murthy and co. They started the information technology revolution in India. So here people who are telling not. The next big thing is material revolution. Come on, put your hands together. Next big thing for India is materials revolution.
Sir,
Let us be optimistic, as Sir was telling. It will be material revolution and we'll join hands. I am from DMRL, sir.
see,
Yeah.
I want to submit one point, sir, to the.
Thank you very much.
Sir,
Okay, now please excuse me. I would
Last
like to
point,
now.
I have been waiting for a long time. I want to submit this point to the respective panel members, including Dr. Mohanty. I mean, actually, I worked in R&D center of SAIL, then in industry, Bokaro, and then now in the private industry. I'll tell you, any business we talk about the profit part. So anybody look for the cost part, and know under present situation that Atmanirbhar and Make in India, so high temperature refractory material, we have been all importing from China. Now there are a lot of industries SAIL making a policy that you cannot get it from China. Now in our SAIL plant, all refractory product we are now producing by the Indian refractory manufacturers and being supplied and getting the same result what has been achieved by importing that material. So it is also a political decision and support that what government of India has given like Atmanirbhar and the decision of the SAIL management. And they have taken a decision so that we are doing. So it is not that the opportunity is not there, opportunity has to be created. There are a lot of industries who are waiting for that opportunity, and now being in a private industry, because I worked in the public sector for a long time in R&D, so it is very much possible, and we are able to do it.
I endorse your views. I think you have told what I told, so it's I think last question to it.
So thank you.
Sir, with that, I think we are running a little short of time. And I think it was a great panel discussion. Thank you very much, sirs, for sparing your time. And now we would like to request Professor Tata Rao and Professor Bhanushankar Rao to come and felicitate the panelists. So first to Dr. CGK Nair ji, if Professor Bhanu can please felicitate. Please. Sir. Next, I would request Professor Tata to felicitate Dr. Vilas ji. Professor Bhanu, kindly if you can felicitate Mohanty ji. Professor Tata, if you can please felicitate Kumareshan ji. Professor Bhanu, if you could please felicitate Srinivas Rao Garu. And last but not the least, Professor Tata, if you can please felicitate Komal Kapoor ji. Now, I would request all the dignitaries, if you can please rise. We will take a photo with Professor Tata and Professor Bhanu. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, sirs. Now we have the cultural program, which will start LH5, which is the room opposite to this. If you could please go in, take your seats. The artists are here. They will start shortly.
Thank you, sir. So he's celebrated for his clarity on violin. He's come all the way from US, if I'm not wrong, sir. Thank you so much. And at the far left, we have Shri N. Sundar Garu on tabla and morsing. He's a dynamic percussionist bringing the Hindustani tabla finish and South Indian morsing together. And to the far right, we have Shri Sharvesh Karthik. He's on mridangam and hand sonic. He's a versatile percussionist combining classical mridangam tradition with modern electronic textures. I'm sure this will be an evening for all of you to remember. Before we start, I'd like to thank our sponsors. We have this program sponsored by the Hindalco Group. And thank you, sir, for your support. As it is the tradition, I'd like to invite upon our Director and President of the Indian Institute of Metals, Professor B.S. Murthy, onto the dais. I'd also invite Shri Vilas Tatwarkar ji onto the dais. And we have our artists also to accompany them for lighting of the lamp. I'll not talk much. You will see the music talk very soon and enjoy. Thank you all.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापम् सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तुते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीपब्रह्म
Good evening and welcome. Before I start, I'm so happy and very thankful to the conference and so feeling very proud to be part of your celebration and your celebration of your great things and academic prowess. And here I'm sure I was telling Sir that you would have had a long day of brainstorming sessions. So now it's time to relax. So we are here only to entertain you, to make you enjoy, forget everything, smile big, clap along, sing along maybe. So we are just going to present an enjoyable evening of maybe 1.5 hours of music. We are going to have different styles, different genres, like different taste in food. And we're going to start with very traditional piece called Mallari. Mallari is a musical form which is used to be played in temples when the deity is taken as a procession inside the temple. In olden days, in the villages, they used to know what's happening in the temple just by listening to this Mallari. When they hear a Mallari called Tirtha Mallari, they will know the deity is being given the Abhishekam. And when you hear the Taligai Mallari, you know the deity is offered the Naivedyam or the offering of food, or Ter Mallari when the deity is taken as a procession in a chariot or a palanquin. And the Nadaswaram and Tawil players will be playing different speeds, the same tune in different speeds. And since our group is mainly predominantly the rhythm-based group, and we have called ourselves Heartbeat, the rhythm, the lot of rhythm is Nandikeshwara, the vehicle of Lord Shiva. So this Mallari is a age-old Mallari for which I have set words on praise of Lord Nandikeshwara. And we'll have a Mela Prapti, which is like a mood setting of the Mallari by the Tawil player, but we'll have an electronic Tawil from Sarvesh from the Hansonic, and followed by the Mallari. It is set in a very different time signature of 18 beats per cycle and in a scale called Gambira Nate, Mallari. Tattarita, takatarita, tam takita dhim, takita tum, takita tatatadhiti, tum 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 nam nam, tatadhiti tum tum nam, tadingina tum, takadadingina tum, takadikudadingina tum, tattarita, takatarita. Takita dhim, takita tum, takita I like it. One more time. The whistle one more time. Sabash. Adi kavali. இப்போ கொஞ்சம் reserve it. As you could have seen, it involved a lot of mathematical matrices when we played. It was like 6 over 8, 4 over 8, 8 over 8, 2 over 8, all these mathematical permutation combinations, which is integral part of our Carnatic music. And Mallari has a lot of gati, what we call as gati variations, gati bhedam. So after the mathematical things, let us play something very devotional so that we're all peaceful. And having come to this part of the country, how can we not think about the Lord Venkateshwara? And this is a very, very, very popular song all over the world for the Bhaktas of Balaji. And it is immortalized by none other than Dr. M.S. Subbalakshmi, Annamacharya's Sriman Narayana. that was Sriman Narayana in Bauli Ragam, Aditalam, a composition of Annamacharya. We'll just sort out this. Yeah. So when you say music, it is always connected with sentiments. And when you say sentiment, the best sentiment is sentiment of love. Love, passion, anything. And in India, everything is connected with gods and goddesses. You have a goddess of wealth, goddess of power, goddess of learning, and you have goddess of romance also, or goddess of love, or god of love, who is called Manmata and Rati. So we are going to play, and on to my right side I have two bachelors. So one is late 20s and in the early 20s. So I thought we'll play something for Sarvesh and Kamala Kiran, so that next time when they come, they'll be grihastas. Because I don't want them to be more happy than us. Okay, so this is raga is called Ratipati Priya. So it's a very romantic, lilting, melodious raga. First we'll have the raga, then I'll say what is, the piece is called pulse, and why it is called pulse, I'll explain it after the raga. We'll have the raga by Bhavani, Kamal and Sarvesh. You'll be wondering how Sarvesh will be playing raga in a mridangam, but he'll be playing raga in the hand sonic. So let's have a small bit of raga, Ratipati Priya, pulse. So that was Radhipati Priya Ragam. The piece is called Pulse. When you go to a doctor for a normal heart checkup, he checks our heart with his stethoscope. And the sound that he listens in his stethoscope is something similar to this. If this talam, if this rhythm is right, he'll see and smile at you. I'll say, see you next year for the checkup. I'll see you next year. If the rhythm is like this, he will again smile at you and say, I see you. I see you. Go to the ICU. He'll check you. So praying for all our hearts to beat in beautiful, proper rhythm with the God's grace and Goddess's grace, so that our pulse is perfect. And the entire piece is structured in a phrase called Tajam, Tanam, Tadum. That pulse, like the heartbeat, Tudum, Tudum, Tajam, Tanam. So the entire piece is structured over this rhythmic phrase. And when you see a tennis match between Rafael Nadal and Federer, you'll see the rally like this, when the ball is going from here to there. So I've structured the rhythmic phrases so that Sarvesh, myself and Sundar will alternate like a rally in between the pieces. So Pulse, Ratipati Priya, Mangala Karini, Aditalam. मंगलकारिणी मंगलकारिणी माता भवानी मंगलकारिणी माता भवानी मन्मथ संहार शिव मन मोहिनी मंगलकारिणी माता भवानी मन्मथ संहार शिव मन मोहिनी जगदोधारिणी जगदोधारिणी जन्म उद्धारिणी जगदोधारिणी जन्म उद्धारिणी जय जय देवी जगजननी जगदोधारिणी जन्म उद्धारिणी जय जय देवी जगजननी जय जय देवी जगजननी मंगलकारिणी Any doctors around? If they come and check our BP now, it will be 200, 300. We played so fast just to entertain you. Hope you liked it. Thank you so much. So, following Ratipati Priya and Pulse, we'll play a beautiful pentatonic scale called Sallabam. It's just slightly different from the regular Hindolam or Malkons, what we say in Hindustani music, but it has a bigger ga, and we're going to have a small raga and followed by the small improvisation, and we're going to have the percussion solo between mridangam, ghatam, morsing, tabla, konakol, hand sonic, and all whatnot, and we'll take you through a journey of rhythm. And don't forget, be ready. Sometimes I may call you to join us by clapping and keeping time. So when the Tanyavartanam or the Laya Vinyasam percussion solo comes, you have to be ready with us. So Ecstasy, Sallabam. Sabah. Sabah. Bale. Shabash, shabash. Dum, tarigadagadum, tarigadagadum, dum, tarigadagadum, tarigadagadum, dum, ta, dum, ta, dum, ta. Be ready to join us. Be ready. Sabar. More power. Hungry. Sabar. Very good. Sabar. Sabar. Now. Now. Keep the clap. Sabar. Kamalakiran Vinjamuri on the violin. Bhavani Prasad on the veena, N. Sundar on the tabla and morsing, Sarvesh Karthik on the mridangam and hand sonic, Mr. Das on the audio. His participation is very important. Thank you, Das. And my name is Karthik. One or two? 5? 5 minutes. We'll play very famous folk melody called Brahma Mokkate. Good. And after Brahma Mokkate, we'll conclude with Bhagya the Lakshmi Baramma, invoking the blessings of Goddess Lakshmi to give us more dollars and gold.
Thank you, sir. That was a spellbinding performance. I'm sure that certainly deserves a standing ovation. So may we request all of you to stand up and thank the artist.
Thank you so much. Respect to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. So before we conclude today's evening, I'd like to invite upon Professor B.S. Murthy and Dr. Vilas Tatwadkar to give away a few mementos to Dr. CGK Nair is also here. So I'd like to welcome you onto the dais to give our artist a small memento.
Please pardon us for sitting and receiving it because so that we are surrounded by so many wires. So we don't want to disturb the circuit. So apologize for sitting and receiving.
Just a moment. Thank you, sir. So,
On the line. He lives in Washington, D.C., but he's from here. He's from Guntur. He's four towns. Sirili, Puttur, and Guntur. Sarvesh Karthik on the Mridangam and hand sonic. One small information, he's my son. Mr. Bhavani Prasad, he's from Hyderabad. He's a phenomenal artist, known for his beautiful tone. And Mr. N. Sundar on the morsing and tabla.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Saira.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of you to stay so long and bless us with your smiling faces. Thank you.
Thank you all. I'd like to thank all our sponsors who made this event possible. There's a long list of people from the admin team of IIT Hyderabad, the student volunteers, the transport coordinators, and everyone. It's a big team effort which made this happen. And this is just the first day. And trust us, there is more packed in the next 2 days, which will make you all happy. We hope IIT Hyderabad gives you memories that will last forever. And thank you all for being a wonderful audience. And thank you, sir, Dr. Ghatam Karthik, and the entire troupe for making it a memorable evening. Thank you all. Dinner is waiting for you. Sorry for keeping you waiting a little longer, but I'm sure it was worth the wait. Thank you all. Thank you.